I have to say that the most fun word to say with a French accent in English is peanut butter and jelly, or as the French accent people might say, peanut butter et jelly. Okay, I think we are good to go. Hello from De-twa, je m'appelle Hein Haidut, and welcome to my channel. I see how I planned that one out, see how I did it? If you are not new here, welcome back, and if you're a subscriber, you the best. Or, as someone from IKEA might say, you the besta. I'm going to be showing you some pronunciation rules that you should practice when trying to have a standard French accent, which is kind of the Parisian French accent. The reason why I'm doing this is because my last name is French. I actually have a famous French ancestor, Pierre Joseph Redoute, if you wanted to look him up on Wikipedia after this. I also did this Netflix review of Emily in Paris, and honestly, it just got me in a Parisian mood. Now, in going through these pronunciations, I noticed that in my Michigan accent videos, a lot of people said that they were saying things out loud to themselves while they watched it. So I want to use that here. As you're going through this video, say these phrases with me. The reason why I'm doing this is because I found this French accent video on YouTube and I loved it and it was so much fun to follow along. It was very exciting for me. So I wanted to make this video to bring that excitement to you and to teach you a thing or two. I also have been to Montreal and Paris and they do not like people who are, straight up American. So maybe you might blend in better if you have this French accent. Oh, who knows? To kick things off, let's go into the TH sound. We use it a ton. The, this, that, everything. We use it all the time. And the French do too, but they do not say it the same way we do. Instead of saying the, they say the. That, this. A good practice phrase to use for this would be something like, that isn't mine, this is hers, mine is the blue one. Now, I'm going to say this with the French accent that you should practice with, but I'm not going to say other words in, the French accent because we're going to build it up as this video goes on, and you'll find that by the end, after you've been building it up, you might be able to say a really long phrase. So in saying that phrase with the French accent, you'd want to say, that is not mine, this is hers. Mine is the blue one. So you can pause it, come back, say the phrase out loud to yourself, and honestly, just even saying a different way, I think enticed my tongue. It's like, what's going on? What are you doing? An example of TH being in the middle of a word would be something like father or brother. So instead, you would want to say fazer, brazer. It makes my Michigan accent sound so harsh when you hear the French accent because you notice how hard we say things like R and just everything's associated with it. So a good phrase to practice this TH in the middle sound would be saying something like, your father and brother are here. And again, I'm not going to say other words with the French accent, just want to focus on those two. So you'd want to say, your brazer and your fazer are here. Now, us Michiganders are going to have a hard one with this. It is the letter R. As you know from a Michigan accent video, we say hard R's. Even anything I say, it's just right, like you're just extending it so much. But with French, it's a different kind of R. It's kind of hard to explain in my perspective, but you almost want to roll it a little bit and keep it breathy. So it's not Ryan, it's Ryan. Or it's not redoute, it's redoute. You almost want to just keep it up, keep the tongue up maybe, and keep it breathy and airy. So for example, let's say the word rent would be rent, not rent, rent. It's almost like you're saying this H ahead of it, and that's the best way I could say to practice it, but I would say to keep listening to the way I'm saying it and keep trying to make that noise with your mouth. But a good phrase to practice both this TH and R sound would be something like, your brother's rent is due at the end of the month. Month ends in a TH, so you want to end it more with a Z sound. So to practice that with a French accent, you would say, your brother's rent is due at the end of the month. See, the month is kind of hard because I almost want to put this S sound at the end. It's hard to say the Z, I think because we don't say it too often. So now we're going to go into some more Spitfire pronunciations. And like I said, feel free to pause, pronounce it, practice it with me because honestly, the fun is in the journey. So with a short A, as in the word fat, you're not saying it so aggressively. It's not ah. You want to say almost like an AH noise. So it's not fat, it's fat. A little airy, kind of like the R. Now with a long A, as in the word gate, see how long the A kind of lasts for, you almost want to say it more with an E. So it's not gate, it's get. And a good practice phrase for this would be, let's say you're at the airport and you want to say something to Julie. So you say, Julie, your father is at the gate. So the French pronunciation of that would be, Julie, your father is at the gate. Now, you might notice in my face when I'm saying the French pronunciations that it looks like I'm trying really hard. It's because I am. Another pronunciation rule is that ER at the end of a word like water becomes more like air. So it's not water, it's water. So to build on this phrase that we've been working on, let's say, Julie, your father is at the gate with water. This kind of incorporates a lot of what we've been practicing. And to say it with a French accent, you would want to say something like, Julie, your father is at the gate with water. Maybe this mom is really mad because Julie keeps complaining about wanting water at the airport when the father clearly has it at the gate. When it comes to a short I in a word, like with the word sip, it almost becomes an E kind of sound. So it's not sip, it's seep. So to add this to this phrase we're actually working on, you might want to say, Julie, your father is at the gate with water for you to sip. So with the French pronunciation, you'd maybe want to say something like, Julie, your father is at the gate with water for you to sip. Now, you can also practice with maybe the word sick. Instead of saying sick, you'd want to say seek. With a short O, as in the word cot, you know, we Michiganders kind of say A-H, cat, cat. You more so want to make it cut. So like a very short cut. A good phrase to practice this would be something like, Miss, there is a full-size cot for you at the hotel. Now I want to note here too that with the French pronunciation, you're not going to be saying your H's, okay? No H's. So this phrase with the French pronunciation would be something like, Madame, there is a full-size cot for you at the hotel. Now, in this phrase, I actually used the next pronunciation rule, and that is you. You're not saying words like full, you're saying fool. It's not full, fool. And this one is definitely one of my more favorite pronunciation rules in here. So again, you can practice it and say, Madame, there is a full-size cot for you at the hotel. And I noticed when practicing, I really enjoyed really trying to get those pronunciation rules. So not trying to be, cool and make it flow better, but really try to emphasize the pronunciation rule that I am trying to practice. And another word that's just fun to say, I think, is super in a French accent, which is super. And I might be rolling my R a little bit on that because I did study Spanish for 4 years in high school, but I think it's a fun word to say. Not as fun as peanut butter jelly. So now with all those rules I just went through, I know it was a lot, so feel free to go back and replay them and then kind of pronounce with me now that you maybe have them down a little bit better. And obviously a French person might say differently, but I think I sound pretty good at the end of doing all of these rules and training and practicing. I think that honestly with just a little practicing I did, I was really starting to get the hang of it. Obviously not perfect, but it's all in the fun of it. And be sure to comment if you are struggling with it really bad, or if you are, getting the hang of it right away, and if you have other words that you find super fun to say with a French accent that you maybe found on the internet or even pronounced yourself, I don't know, or know someone who's French and have a couple of words that they say that you really enjoy. And if you're curious to learn more about the Michigan accent, be sure to check out those videos, which I will link down below, on top of my Emily in Paris review if you're just in this Parisian mood, and maybe buy a baguette from the grocery store and just go all out. Beret maybe even too. But other than that, I hope you all have an amazing day. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to say this. Like and subscribe.